So today I want to talk about freight companies and one problem that I have with freight companies that no one ever really talks about. It looks like I'll be the first on the internet to do it, so keep watching. So first of all, how does a freight company work? Now let me just give you an example. Okay, so let's say now that you live in a certain country and you're into stuff like Apple products and so on. Let's say now you want to order the latest iPhone or something. But the problem is that in your country, Apple does not have any presence there, like no stores, nothing. And also, even if you wanted to order from the Apple website, there's no way of you actually doing that because Apple doesn't ship to your country. So what do you do in this case? Simple. You use a freight company. So how do freight companies work? It's quite simple. So freight companies are located in the country that you actually want to make a purchase from. So as I said, Apple is in the US, and how these freight companies work is like this. So they'll give you a US address. So you go on the Apple website, and when you want to place your order, instead of putting your own address, which is in like your country, you put in their address that they gave you, that's a US address, you put it there, and then from there, when the order is placed, it goes straight to them. Now, when it goes to them, they have to process the shipment and everything. They have to follow the due process before they ship it. Now, when they ship it, it reaches you, the final consumer, and then from there, you get to use their Apple product. Now, here's the one particular problem I have with freight companies, and that's simple: returns. Now, one major risk of using a freight company to order products is this. Well, the problem is that if you use one, there's the risk that now that you could get a defective or broken product or a product that you didn't even order, and when it reaches you in your country, there's no way of you actually returning it. Now, obviously, the freight company is not responsible for any damage in this case. Like, what I mean is this, like, for example, if now that the company that you ordered from, like the service or whatever you ordered from, like if that thing came damaged from their end and not from the freight company's end, and you got something defective and everything, obviously they're not going to be responsible in that regard. So if you ever happen to be an unfortunate victim who ordered something and then in the end of the day you got something that was broken or defective or something that you didn't even order at all, you're forced to keep it with you. Like, you can't return it, you can't do anything with it. And it'll be really difficult because, like, to be very honest with you, like, for many of these companies like Apple and so on, maybe they'll tell you that if you want to get a refund, you will have to actually return the device, like everything in that device, before you can get your money back. So if not that you ordered from Apple and you got something defective, well, for you to start shipping it back to Apple, the money that you're obviously going to spend, like, would it even be worth it? However, there are some services that if you order from that, you don't really have to return the physical product to actually get a refund. But then what about the cost that you use to actually ship the thing from the freight company? You can't get that back, but maybe you could get what you used to order the product back. So basically, that is one of the problems with freight companies that I have. Now, how can you reduce the risk of something like this happening? It's simple. Number one, make sure that you're buying from a reliable seller, someone who is very reliable. Number two is this, like, if you're using a freight company, well, make sure that you may order from somewhere that even if now you get something defective, that you can be able to get a refund without returning that product. And finally, don't even use freight companies. Now, I'm not here to say that you shouldn't use them. Like, I'm not against freight companies at all. It's whether or not you want to use them. Like, it's your preference. But then, if you wanted more protection as a buyer, probably go to a physical store or an online store that's locally available to you, that obviously, like, if something happens to your product, you can easily dispute it and then you can get your money back, like, easily, in my opinion.